There aren't too many examples of long-form storytelling in superhero comics. A writer might stick with a character for a while and create an epic run, but things typically revert back to a generic status quo every few years. By their very nature, superhero comics reset to create jumping on points so new readers can come in fresh instead of being forced to catch up on years' worth of backstories. Invincible, created by Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker, is one of the few exceptions to that norm. Since its launch in 2003, the book has only had 2 illustrators, with Ryan Ottley handling the bulk of the series' 144 issues, and has never settled on a permanent status quo. Things are constantly changing, and even now, as the series approaches its final issue, plot points from the past keep re-emerging, making the whole series feel like one giant, cohesive story. Keeping the book's visual style consistent throughout allows each character's growth to be more noticeable over time. If you flip back to any random issue, you can trace everyone's physical maturity because the same artistic team has designed their entire life. Invincible has evolved from a quaint, coming-of-age tale into a story about intergalactic warfare without ever feeling like it's veered off course. In Kirkman's statement announcing the end of the series, he said the point of Invincible was to play with the tropes of the genre, but twist them into something new. Even though Mark Grayson is forced into stereotypical comic book situations, like fighting alternate versions of himself, temporarily abandoning his mantle, and even being sent back in time for a satirical look at reboot culture, the book never feels generic. Instead, it feels like we're watching one man slowly progress through a difficult life. Despite all the tropes, Invincible remains a deeply intimate story that highlights how the stress and sacrifices involved with being one of the world's greatest heroes takes a toll over time. One tonal point that distinguishes Invincible from other superhero books is the way Kirkman makes the extraordinary aspects of this world seem mundane at the beginning. It's clear Mark lives in a pre-established world full of superheroes, and his dad is even the strongest person on the planet. So when he tells his parents that he's developing powers, it doesn't come as a surprise to them. It's just another boring topic at the dinner table. While the book frames itself as an origin story for a new superhero, it's clear Kirkman is more interested in Mark Grayson as a character and how his relationships change over time. No one in this world is exactly how they seem, and every betrayal Mark is forced to endure teaches him a valuable lesson that he takes forward with him as the series progresses. The action scenes are all beautiful to look at and a lot of fun, but what makes the book so interesting is watching how Mark's attitudes change over time as a result of his successes and failures as a hero. His young, idealistic persona gives way for a hardened warrior willing to do anything to keep his family safe. After everything he's seen and done throughout the series, he doesn't strive to save every villain like he did when he was young. Now he just does what's necessary. He's nowhere near a deranged killer. He's just matured over the years and is tired of feeling guilty whenever an old enemy threatens hundreds of people. Compare this to a hero like Batman, who despite watching the Joker kill countless civilians, never adjusts his thought process over time. The rampant death and destruction caused to Gotham is felt for a few months, and then it's swept under the rug so a new story can take place. But every crisis in Invincible impacts the series indefinitely. The book is full of charm, and one of the things that makes it so endearing is watching Mark and Eve slowly transition from awkward acquaintances into a loving couple. Just like Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World, these two have been through a lot together, and that connection adds to the emotional impact of the series over time. Originally, the two of them were strangers, fighting together on the Teen Team, a great parody of the Teen Titans, but their relationship slowly develops into the loving partnership it is today. They've had major fights and breakups, but at the end of the day, it's through their relationship that we get to see Mark grow up from an annoying teenager into a caring adult who cherishes his loved ones. No matter how much he grows, Mark remains exhaustively human. Even the universe's greatest hero has weak, embarrassing moments like nerding out over meeting his favorite writers or a meltdown at a loved one's funeral. He knows how ridiculous he looks, but in that moment, Mark isn't a godlike superhero, he's just an angry, upset boy looking for comfort. It's in these small, intimate moments that audiences get to learn what the characters truly care about and how their perspectives have changed over time. In the final arc, The End of All Things, Mark and Eve spend one last day with their daughter Tara before they have to run off and fight in a cosmic war. The raw emotional weight of their day together emphasizes how hard it is for them to continually make these kinds of sacrifices. Giving everything for the greater good is never easy, but seeing a hero steal one last glance from their love before rushing into a deadly battle makes the situation feel all the more real. Similarly, when we watch something terrible happen to either Eve or Mark, the pain and rage their partner conveys never feels overdone because we already understand how much they care about each other. The ultimate trope Invincible's creative team has subverted is the idea that these characters' stories should continue forever. Kirkman opens his statement by saying his greatest hope in life is to one day, when I'm much older, be reading an Invincible comic book by younger creators I haven't met who are doing a book that I hate. While he may have originally wanted Invincible to continue forever alongside icons like Superman and Spider-Man, he's since changed his mind. Since the very beginning, the Viltrumite conflict has brewed in the background, and only now is that plot point coming to its full conclusion. All the major arcs and big moments were stepping stones for Mark to prepare for this final conflict, so anything that comes after would feel like unnecessary fluff. There's a chance the finale won't satisfy everyone, but Kirkman is mirroring real life here by giving the book an ending. Mark has grown from an adolescent boy into a real leader and one of the strongest fighters in the universe. No matter what happens to him at the end of issue 144, one thing is certain. Fans have seen Mark Grayson transform and evolve in a way no other superhero character has.